That was a really bad move. I'm going to be your worst nightmare.
Okay, so today we're going to take a look at one of my favourites, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Look at the title of this video. Why Jordan Peterson does not drink. The thumbnail would suggest the reason is, it makes everybody stupid.
Yeah, well, alcohol is an extraordinarily pernicious drug. And if you're inclined towards it, you can be inclined towards it because you're sensitive to its anxiety-reducing properties.
Sensitive to its anxiety-reducing properties. No, it's just when I go into a social situation where there's more than 2 or 3 people, a little drink just takes the edge off, doesn't it? You know, takes that edge. You know, the edge, the sort of butterflies in the stomach, the feeling you're a fucking piece of shit. They all start to go away, those feelings, when you have a little drink. I don't have anxiety.
Or you can be sensitive to it because it enhances social communication.
Alcohol enhances social communication. Yeah, that sounds like something a drunk person might think. Because this is what happens, isn't it? I mean, most of us who are not sociopaths, our inclination towards new people is danger, get them away from me. I don't want to speak to them. They'll probably hate me because I'm a piece of shit after all. You know, that's the healthy approach to people you don't know and therefore wouldn't speak to. But what alcohol does is, for example, in scenarios where you're forced to speak to new people, like at parties or say, I don't know, you've arranged to meet up with a couple of very close friends that you can trust in a restaurant, say, in a social setting. You're going to meet up with 2 or 3 people and you turn up at the arranged time because you're not a sociopath, like for some reason the majority of people are. You say 9 o'clock and at 9:30 they say, oh, I'm on my way. Dickheads. And you turn up at 9 because that's the time that was arranged, and you ask the waiter, well, the table it's booked under so-and-so's name, and you stride over to the table full of confidence and happy, really, because you're going to see the 2 or 3 people you can trust. And you say to the waiter, you sure that's my table? Because the only person sitting at that table is a person I've never seen before in my life. And that's because it's Mr. New Guy that your extrovert sociopath friends have invited and who also turns up on time. In those situations, alcohol allows me for a brief few hours to believe I am a great conversationalist and really, essentially, I'm just all inhibited most of the time, aren't I? So we need to break these barriers down. Why can't we give love a chance, you know? Oh, that happened to you, did it? Poor you. Oh, same here, mate. I know you're preaching to the choir and you get this false rapport with this person you've never met. That's sick. It's sickness. We don't need all of that all the time. It's mental, okay? We should be living in tribes of 150 and hunting mammoths, you know, doing the paleo diet. But that's just my opinion.
Or because it produces a psychomotor high like pain, or all of those at once. And if you're particularly predisposed to alcoholism, you can experience all 3 at once. I had a friend in Montreal, Frank Irvin, great old guy, looked like Ernest Hemingway. He had a monkey farm on St. Kitts. And
all right, way to flex. Who doesn't have a monkey farm on St. Kitts? That's such a typically wacky Jordan Peterson anecdote.
Look, just like Ernest Hemingway, he had a monkey farm on St. Kitts.
That has never been said in the history of the world. He's original, if nothing else.
Him and his woman, Roberta, I can't remember Roberta's last name. She was quite a piece of work too, a real cool person. They had this monkey ranch on St. Kitts, and they used to go down there and study the effects of alcohol on green monkeys.
Yeah, sure they did. Now, what insane old billionaire or government institution did his friends? Who did they fool to give them the money to set up a monkey ranch in the Caribbean studying the effects of alcohol on the monkeys?
Which 5% of whom would drink to coma on first exposure. And they had videotapes of these damn monkeys drinking, and it looked like a frat party, you know, but 5% of them on first exposure would drink to coma.
That is amazing. What incredible findings that if you give alcohol to monkeys, it really fucks them up, you know. What did they tell the crazy billionaire that gave them all the money to set up the monkey ranch? Tell me, how is our little project going?
It's not pretty. Those monkeys are getting pretty pissed off with each other.
Fascinating.
And those were the monkeys that had a biological predisposition to alcoholism. And alcohol is a really bad drug. It's 50% of murders take place in an alcohol-fueled environment. Either the victim or the perpetrator or both is drunk. It's almost the sole cause of domestic abuse. It's almost the sole cause of so-called date rape. If you dig into criminal behavior deeply enough, well, hell, you don't have to dig much at all before you find alcohol. It's also the only drug we know that actually makes people more aggressive. And not merely because they don't know what they're doing. We did experiments at McGill showing that if you took drunk people and put them in a competitive environment where they could be aggressive and had them keep track of their aggression so they were actually conscious of it, they became more aggressive even rather than less. So yeah, alcohol's bad news, and it can turn perfectly good people into quite the impulsive and dim-witted monsters.
I was out on Friday night, so a couple of nights ago, and it was like a street party that we have here in Spain all summer long. It's lovely. And, Spain is really not a very violent place. There's not a lot of crime or delinquency of any kind, really. But when there is, alcohol is involved. And I did witness an event a couple of nights ago. It was a sort of 40-something, 50-year-old guy, I don't know, middle-aged guy, staggering around, glazed eyes, looking menacingly at everyone, looking for trouble. But, he wasn't a big guy, so it was not a problem, really. He was just drunk, staggering around all the bars on that street, being a bit odd. And then eventually he started a fight with a young boy, a teenager, who was sitting on a bench, minding his own business, as far as I could tell. And he just started wailing on this kid. And all of his friends suddenly surrounded him and said, "Oh, get off him." I thought they were going to kill the guy. They didn't. They just pulled him away and said, "Hey, you need to go away. You're drunk. Stop. You can't. Please don't kill our friend." They sort of got him a distance away, and he's there like judging the situation in his drunk mind. And as they hadn't hit him, he just went in for the kill again. He went after the same kid again. And at that point, the friends retaliated. And it was just one after the other, bouncing off his face for like about 30 seconds. It didn't last long. And they left him. They could have really gone to town on him. They didn't. They hit him a few times in the face, and he got the message and sort of staggered away without really saying anything. And I don't know why, but it really got me thinking about when I've been hungover and I've got a few, a bit of a blackout. I can't really remember things clearly, and I start replaying the conversations, and I just feel sick. The possibility that I've said something inappropriate or been weird in some way, or it's just like thinking about it now makes me cringe. And can you imagine being the guy I just described, who's woken up yesterday in his blood-stained sheets, with his face all swollen up, and the vague memories that are going to come back to him throughout the day, the flashbacks, are not going to be of awkward conversations. Oh God, what did I say? No. His awkward flashbacks are going to be of essentially children screaming in a mixture of fear and rage as they batter his face in and hurl insults at him and say, "Get out of here, yeah, leave him alone." It's not funny, is it? But it's absolutely incredible that we think, I don't know, it's just incredible to think that we see this stuff happening all the time, and it's just like something that we accept. That's a thing that we have to behave responsibly with. Alcohol's just a part of life, and you have to hope that you don't turn into that guy. Good luck.
I've watched too, as I've gone around the world, I've met very, very many people in many, many social occasions. And because I don't drink anything at all now, if I go out and watch people drinking, it makes everybody stupid and fuzzy-minded. And, the problem is when you're drinking, you think you're cool, but you know, you have those same delusions that Homer Simpson's friend Barney had when he was drinking, that you're this kind of, you know, elegant and sophisticated comedian, and it just makes everybody stupid.
To that point, though, it is very difficult if everyone else is drinking and you're not, because, as Jordan says, you can see that everyone is behaving like an ass. They think everything's hilarious, and it just isn't that funny most of the time, what they're saying and what they're doing. So I don't know, what's he suggesting? That I grow a backbone and a personality at my age? No, thank you. Anyway, that's just my take on all this. Yeah, alcohol's terrible, but stay safe, people. I'll see you in the next one. Like, share, subscribe. You don't know how much that helps me. You know, maybe I wouldn't need so much if you just... I'll see you in the next one.
How dare you?